the crisis in Syria. The prime minister is calling for U.S. intervention as the conflict spills over the border. Ebru's Gabe Caggiano joins us live now from the White House with the latest on this story. Gabe.
So far, Logan, there are no statements of any bold action coming from either the president or the prime minister, which is a disappointment to many who want the bloody civil war in Syria over as soon as possible. At the news conference today, both leaders made clear Turkey and the United States are committed and close allies who want the killing and carnage stopped in Syria.
We both agree that Assad needs to go. He needs to transfer power to a transitional body. That is the only way that we're going to resolve this crisis. It's a source of stability, not extremism, because it's in the profound interests of all our nations, especially Turkey.
But Obama was not willing to say military force is in any way on the table. Neither is a no-fly zone or military aid to opposition groups. Obama stressed the need for diplomacy, not war.
And Turkey is going to play an important role as we bring representatives of the regime and opposition together in the coming weeks.
Prime Minister Erdogan did not make any provocative statements either. There is agreement Syria is a problem with no clear and easy solutions.
Suriye'de kanlı sürecin sonlandırılması.
We also agreed that we have to prevent Syria from becoming an area for terrorist organization. We also agreed that chemical weapons should not be used and all minorities and their rights should be secured. These are all priority areas. We discussed what should be done with the president, and this evening we will continue to do so.
Some Middle East experts think a diplomatic approach is good news for Bashar Assad. It buys him time.
Yeah, I think Assad is feeling better in the last couple weeks. His army has made some gains on the ground, and there doesn't seem to be much coming out of the chemical weapons investigations. And the U.S. is just cooperating with Russia and setting up a conference, which probably won't put much pressure on the Assad regime.
And in a nice touch, Logan, the Prime Minister expressed his sympathy for the Boston Marathon bombing on April 15th, saying Turkey only knows too well the effects of terrorism. Now, at this hour, the Prime Minister and the President are enjoying an official state dinner, and perhaps before the Prime Minister flies home, there will be a more bolder statement, or something bold, I should say, regarding what to do about Syria. Logan?
Ebru's Gabe Caggiano reporting live from Washington, D.C. tonight. Thank you very much.
From continued debate over Benghazi to seizing AP phone records and, of course, the IRS scandal. Joining us now from Washington is Ebru's Gabe Caggiano with more. And Gabe, we're hearing that maybe the Obama administration won't be able to recover from this. What are you hearing?
Nicole, we saw a degree of anger towards the Obama administration this week, unlike anything during his first term. And over the next few weeks, it is probably going to get worse.
Please raise your right hands.
The latest body blow to Team Obama came today at the House Ways and Means Committee hearing, where Republicans lashed out at outgoing IRS Commissioner Steve Miller for allegedly targeting conservative groups.
Is this still America? Who in the IRS is responsible for targeting conservative organizations?
This revelation goes against the very principles of free speech and liberty upon which this country was founded. The blatant disregard with which the agency has treated Congress and the American taxpayer raises serious concerns about leadership at the IRS.
Instead of going on the offensive and defending the IRS under his leadership, Miller chose only to plead for forgiveness.
As acting commissioner, I want to apologize on behalf of the Internal Revenue Service for the mistakes that we made and the poor service we provided. The affected organizations and the American public deserve better.
And many believe the public deserves better answers than offered so far from Obama and his team on Benghazi and the seizing of Associated Press phone records by the Department of Justice. On Wednesday, Attorney General Eric Holder came under withering criticism from the House Judiciary Committee. And White House Press Secretary Jay Carney has seemed flustered and overwhelmed as the press corps grows more hostile. However, some experts say these scandals will blow over. They are politically motivated, and in time, the White House and Washington will simply move on.
most of the scandal that's associated with this week isn't making its way up to the White House, and the one scandal that was closest, the Benghazi incident, has mostly been cleared up. And so it's going to be a rough week. It's going to be a rough next couple of weeks as Congress holds their hearings, but in 6 months, in a year, this is going to be something of the distant past.
Well, that might be wishful thinking, and the fallout from all of these scandals certainly cannot help the Democratic Party as they head into the 2014 midterm elections. Nicole?
All right, Gabe, Republicans can only hope, right?
The two meet this week in Washington, and Ebru's Gabe Caggiano is live in the nation's capital with the latest. Gabe?
Logan, this meeting comes at a very critical time. The Turkish Prime Minister wants a no-fly zone, and observers on the ground say they now have proof Syria did use chemical weapons against its own people. Still, it does not look like President Obama at this time is ready to make any bold moves. Saturday's bombing in the Turkish border town of Reyhanli killed 50 people, wounded more than 100, and enraged many in that country against Syria. This is just the latest act of savage violence in the two-year conflict. Medical experts on the ground confirm Syrian forces have used chemical weapons. Israel has gotten involved by bombing specific targets, and reports of ongoing massacres of civilians continue. Now, the debate is on. What should the international community do about it? Turkish Prime Minister Erdogan and President Obama are expected to consider all options when they meet in a few days. But many Middle East experts think Syrian fighting will still be intense and broad when the Prime Minister flies home.
There would have to be some kind of step up, at least in my view, in support for the Syrian opposition, including arms for the opposition, but the administration hasn't decided to do that yet. I don't think President Obama would support a no-fly zone. I think Prime Minister Erdogan may press for that, but I doubt that President Obama will sign off on that.
So what are the reasonable expectations right now to stop the bloodshed? There is mounting pressure on both the Assad government and insurgent leaders to meet and negotiate some kind of peace. A lot of people are talking, but no one knows if just talking will make a difference, given the bitter factions in the Syrian civil war.
There has been a lot of shuttle diplomacy in the past week around the possibility of a political conference, and so I think that Obama's message to Erdogan will be, let's try to move this political process forward.
Now, as for the possibility Turkey will take unilateral action against Syria for the bombing on Saturday, all of the experts I spoke with said that is not going to happen anytime soon. Logan?
Gabe, is there any talk that Assad might actually step down even at this late date voluntarily?
No, I'm afraid not. All the experts I spoke with said that he would either retreat to an Alawite stronghold or die fighting, but he and his family and supporters will not leave Syria alive.
All right, Gabe Caggiano reporting live from Washington, D.C. Thank you very much for your time.